everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll teach you how to create this viral trending effect, which is the pixel stretching effect. Now this goes viral every couple of years basically, so I think I've already made a few tutorials, but I'll make a new one using all the new updates and all that stuff. So let's jump right into it. Well, first you're gonna need your main image. What you want to do next is basically create a selection of whatever it is you want to stretch. So I want to stretch part of this little bird over here, so I need to isolate him from our background. And I'll just select subject. Crazy cool update in Photoshop. It works some magic. Our little bird is selected now, and you can either right click and click on layer via copy, or just press Command J or Control J on a Mac or PC. What that'll do is basically just duplicate our selection onto a new layer. Now what we're gonna do is go over here and select the single column marquee tool. You can also just use the rectangular marquee tool, but make sure your selection kind of has to be pretty thin. I usually just go with the single column marquee tool because we get that straight line pixel stretch. You just click and drag it left or right just to see where that sweet spot is. I think I want somewhere around here where I get the red, the white, the blue, and the yellows of the little bird. Command J or Control J, and we now have our single line over here. We're going to press Command T or Control T, and just holding my Shift key, just click and drag to stretch it all the way out. And this is already looking pretty cool, but we can just drag this in between our main image and our subject to get that crazy pixel stretch effect. To bring it a little further, you just press Command T again to transform, and then you can right click on it and select warp. Now you can either just play around with these handles, also stretch it maybe down to its tail, and then press enter, and you have this cool looking stretch. Another way you can warp it is just pressing Command T again, right click, warp, and instead of up here at the top, instead of the warp being custom, you can just play around with these options over here. So you can try the flag. There's a bunch cool ones that you could use. This basically keeps the shape as is, but you can warp the inside of it. This one. And you can also go pretty crazy with them and add multiple pixel stretches. For example, for this little bird, we only have the pixel stretch going on this top part, but we can add more. You just repeat the same process. So by being on your bird layer or your subject layer, you grab that and decide what part you want to stretch, duplicate it onto a new layer, Command T to transform it, and stretch it all the way. Now as you can see, it also stretched the part we already have stretched. You can just erase that. Also bring it underneath your subject. So now we have sort of this complete warp, and you can also warp them in two different ways. So like one part on top of the other, and you can make and arrange some pretty cool effects and combinations. Another thing you can do, let's try out with another image. We have these skyscraper windows. We don't really need to select a subject over here. The stretching doesn't need to be happening underneath our main object. So all we have to do is just grab our rectangular marquee tool. And let's say we want to stretch these windows. Just select a small portion of it. Command J to duplicate onto a new layer. Command T to transform. And then stretch it downwards. And you get this like melting window effect, which is pretty neat. And you can repeat this with however many windows you want to do it for. Let's make it for a couple of them. Also one of these blue ones maybe. And this is another result, or what you can make. You could obviously go on forever and ever. For our last example, we're gonna try another thing. Just go to select subject. I want to stretch out this pink and green plant, which looks really nice. So select it, duplicate that selection onto a new layer, select my single column marquee tool, decide what part it is I want to stretch, duplicate that onto a new layer, Command T, stretch it all the way out. Bring it underneath our little plant, Command T to transform it, right click, warp. You can also, instead of the standard one, which is this one, you can also go to grid. If you want a more detailed warp with more points, you can decide if you want a 3x3, a 4x4, or a 5x5. 5x5 is you have lots of points to handle, but you can warp this and go real crazy. Maybe you want like a wave effect. You can just hold down the shift key and select more than one point at a time. And I'll move these up with the arrow keys. And then I'll select the next line of dots and I'll bring all those down, create this sort of wave looking effect. This is like just one of the million things you can do with this, but it's cool that you can select multiple dots at the time and then press enter when you're happy with it. You get this warpy line situation going on. That's basically it. There's infinite ways you can explore this effect, and it's a really cool one. It's so easy, and that's why it trends and goes viral every couple of years. It's timeless. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment down below if you have any tutorial requests or suggestions for the next videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.